a quick introduction lah. So I go by the handle Zyphers on my social media. I've been working on like film, feature film, animation, toys, illustration for the past 10 years. I would say the entertainment industry. So doing the creative stuff, and then recently I've worked on a feature film. I think that's the one of the coolest things. All the way from pre-production to production on set, and then back to post-production. So that was a huge journey for me.
Yeah, could you tell us a little bit more about that whole journey that you took? Because pre-production and production, that's quite a big jump, right? Because not many people when you do that, you're kind of like taking on the role as a production designer, which is kind of cool actually.
Exactly. So like when I went there basically with the production designer. So I was on the pre-production. I think I started on like production on set, and then back early 2018 for that project, and then I did the pre-production. We got the cool thing was like the art director got back people from my old studio that we were working together. So I was from Real Sandbox, and then he got back some of the artists from there, and it's cool to always see your old friends. You go back to your producer, hey, you're here, that kind of thing. It's like, that's like how's it been, So that was the cool thing. So we wrote the script, and then we did the art for the show, and then I think for most of my jobs, it stops there. Like you do the pre-production, you do the art, and you pass it off, and then it's like, okay, I'm done. Now I'm moving on to my next project. But then in this case, I knew the director because the director is Nixon Fong. So I went to his school, X-Story and stuff. So I asked him, I was like, hey, is it possible for me to like go to US also, because I really want to work on this kind of thing. I can just follow you. I can do whatever you need me to do, that kind of thing, which is like intern. You want me to get coffee, photocopy stuff, anything lah, because it was such a good opportunity, right? So I asked him I was like, can you give me the chance? And it's like he was worried about visa and stuff, but like I had the visa, so that was all like taken care of. And then so I managed to go over there, and then that was that which was the cool thing. And then I learned a lot. So
wow. So what did you design for that production? Was it the entire set? I mean, is it character design, or what do you exactly do for that work?
Should I share my screen and show some stuff?
Oh yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so you can see the screen.
Yeah, we can see the screen.
Can you see the whole image, or is it like cut off?
It's okay. It's all good.
Yeah. So like I did like sets and creatures for the project. So this was one of the sets. Actually, it was designed by one of another artist. But when we went, it was designed in a different layout. So when we went there, right, the cool thing was that I actually went to the set. So we went on location scouts. So we found a place that, okay, we're going to shoot his room, the main character's room here. So I took photos of the room, and I built it in 3D so that everything matched, like the pillars, the windows, they were all at the same spot. And then I had to redecorate the room with all the props and stuff, so that they could build it accordingly. So this was one of the scenes that I did, like the design for and laying out. And then this is another one. There's like a scene in the lift there where I like design. The cool thing about this lift, right? Because it's you see all these cracks on the side and everything. When we went to production, like when they built the set, they actually did tests of the wall. So they did like tests of all this wallpaper and the cracks on the wall in like small little how to say, like canvases to make sure that they were exactly what I wanted from the concept. So when they built the right, it came out exactly like what you see here, with like the graffiti and all the cracks here and stuff like that, which is cool. So that was fun. And then I did some. This is the lobby of the lift. This also was like taken a photo of the set, and then I just painted over, like just bash photos, bash over, that kind of thing, because they wanted the feel of the place. And then I had the fun of designing like an evil hospital room, which was quite cool. So sketches first,
nice.
And then brought to 3D, did 3D, then paint over. So it's very Silent Hill kind of thing, and it's cool because like you show this to the set deck, right, and then the set decorators have so much fun, because like, oh, okay, I know I can find this bed, I know I can find this stuff, oh, there's a cool light, that kind of thing, and then they actually go out to like your old like antique stores, and they find the exact thing, and then it's like they come to me, it's like, is this good? They show me the like the light or the bake, like this is good. It's like, yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. And then you're like, oh shit. And then so that was like really exciting.
Awesome.
And then so this was creature stuff. So it's a horror show. So there's like some creature stuff. Like I can't show any of like the actors in makeup, but I'm okay to show the concept, so I can show the art of the stuff.
I mean, is the film out yet? Is the production completed?
It's in the final stages of post production, so it should be out. I'm not sure of the date, but it should be out end of the year or something. But I'm not sure about the situation now because of COVID. Whether everything is delayed and stuff like that. So I don't have a date at the moment. But yeah, so this was.
Oh, this is so cool. So yeah. I mean, this is totally like behind the scenes kind of stuff, right? That,
so like, I had a lot of, it's graphic, so I had a lot of fun designing the face and breaking off the mouth and stuff. A little too much fun.
Yeah.
The monster creature designs and stuff like that. So I think this is cool. So because when I was on set, right, I was like, I just went to the hospital set, and then the set was really so cool because they built everything and all the stuff there. And then suddenly the actors all came in, and then they all had their makeup on. And I was like, oh shit, I designed those guys. And then it was like, oh, they're exactly like how I drew and everything. And then it was like, that was fun. I managed to take a photo with them also, which was fun.
Wow. Do you have the photographs? Yeah. Oh, you can't show them, right?
I can't show. Yeah, I can't show.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
See on screen. Yeah.
No, but wow. So, I mean, it's that feeling of satisfaction, right? When you see your final idea being pushed out into a product, it's like such a good feeling, such a satisfying kind of. Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem. Let me see how to share now.
So you just got to end the sharing. At the top.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh crap.
Don't worry. You need help? I can help you to stop it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you stopped it already. Okay, now let me come back on.
But your camera is off.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We're cool now. My bad. Techno noob, but yeah.
No,
all this experience in 3D, and I don't know how to use Zoom.
it happens because Zoom is a totally different ball game. It took me a while to get used to it also. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. So, I mean, was it a very different experience being a production? I mean, in being in charge of the production, overseeing the
I think
fabricating of your ideas.
It was very different because like I was basically with the director's unit, so I had a lot of interaction with the director. So like they would, because I was in charge of all this stuff, right? Usually they will go to the director and like ask, oh, is this okay, and then stuff. So because I was with the director's unit, most of them came to like me or the other production designer. Yeah. So we like it was very busy because they had to come back with paint colors, Pantones, and measurements and all that stuff, which I was totally not experienced in. Like I the only thing I know is paint house, you must paint a few coats of paint. That's I mean that's all I know about paint. So like getting the colors, getting the down, what kind of paint is this correct and all that stuff, and then fabricating the sets, right? Like they were using like foam, cutting out of foam and stuff like that, which I had zero experience, but it was my job was to make sure it was close to the concept. So I tried my best to achieve that.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah. So another cool thing which was I was also like a VFX assistant, because when I was there I helped out with taking the HDRI. So I used like Insta360. So it was very nerve-wracking but exciting at the same time on set, right? In between shoots, right? So let's say that they were shooting this scene. Then they say, okay, we need a HDRI of this shot. I need to run in with the 360 camera, put there, take a few shots, and then come out. And then I make sure like everything is like all the files are there, everything was like taken down correctly, and then I have all the stuff. Otherwise, if like anything moves, right, the light moves, right, I don't have that HDRI anymore. HDRI. Yeah, so that was like, and then everybody's just waiting for me, So it's like, VFX, come in HDRI, and they will shout, and then I'll just run in, and then I do my shots, and then like, okay, everybody don't move, and then I'll take the shot and run. And then like, and there was one time where it couldn't take, I don't know why, there was like, it couldn't sync with my phone, and I was like, oh shit, then like, guys, wait 5 minutes, like, come on, man, come on, time. Like, so stressed.
Is that the co-director or something, the one who's in charge of the time?
Yeah, exactly. The one running the ship, There's the DP is there, the director, everybody's just waiting for me. All the actors are just sitting in their chairs, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So that was scary. And then after I took, then I was straight away go out. Then create the HDRIs, put it in Maya, and make sure all the lighting is correct. And then if it was good to go, then yeah, you know. And then there was also this thing where I had this cube, which is like painted red, green, and blue. It's basically like for tracking for match move and stuff for VFX. So I'll put the cube because there were a lot of green screen shots. So I had to put the cube there so they would know like which axis was facing out the XYZ, on the thing. So there's like they called me QB also. So like when they needed a cube, right, they would shout QB, then I'll run inside and I'll take a photo with the cube there, so make sure the cube is in the correct spot, and then yeah, that was quite fun at the same time. Yeah,
really cool.
So yeah, there's a lot of green screen stuff.
I hear you. I mean, when you're on the set, then I'm sure there's bound to be crazy stories coming out because it's such a it's such an intense environment. Everyone just wants to get the work done, right? And it's also quick. You have to do it really, really fast. So I'll be sure there's tons of all these kind of interesting stories because of the pressure cooker environment that you guys are in.
It's not like $10, $20. It's like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
if anything goes wrong.
Yeah, everything is patch is burning, right? It's too much at stake.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of money.
Callen, are most of your clients overseas or are they local?
I would say most of my clients are overseas. Like I get most of my jobs from ArtStation and word of mouth, I guess. I made a lot of networks when I was in CDA, Concept Design Academy in Pasadena. So I'll talk about that a bit later also. So I think that's the reason why a lot of my jobs are coming from overseas. Because I made friends over there and like they are passing around and like, hey, if you have this, I know a guy, that kind of thing. So yeah, so a lot of my jobs are coming more from overseas than local.
All right, cool. So I mean, before you went to Pasadena, where did you study? I mean, were you from poly environment, or how was it like for you?
It's a cool story. So I started I think a lot of people have this thing like it's never too late to start and stuff like that, right? So I didn't have much drawing background. Like I didn't really start drawing all the way until like when I went into Egg Story, which was after poly. So in secondary school, I tried I joined art club and then I got kicked out because like I got kicked out of art club and the teacher said you can't even do your paper cutting, cannot cut properly. Then the paper mache mask so ugly, all this kind of thing. It's like so like my crafting skills, right, is like terrible. I art and craft, I'm hopeless in craft, that kind of thing. So like after that I went to poly. So after secondary I went to poly in Ngee Poly, did multimedia computing. The course was a bit generalized. So I wanted to they mentioned about game design and stuff, but they taught a lot more other stuff. So it's quite generalized. I only had like 1 or 2 design modules, which is like web design and typography, that kind of thing. So it wasn't too much. Then after that, but I picked up a bit of 3D because there was like 3D Max and stuff. And there was like this new program ZBrush that came out that time. So it's like in the early stages of like development. And then there was this book by Scott Spencer. So I went to army, right? I borrowed the book from the library. I went to Beauty World and I photocopied the whole book. And then that's the old school thing to do, You go to Beauty World, you photocopy the whole book and then you bind it and then you read because you cannot borrow all the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's what I did.
That's analog piracy.
Yeah. So I brought it to army. Then I just studied ZBrush in my 2 years in army. I just learned as much as I could. Then I started 3D earlier. Then after that, but there was not really like jobs for concept or any design stuff like that. So I was like, okay, go to web design and stuff like that. So the day before I got the interview, I mentioned earlier, so the day before I got the interview for the web design job, right, my friend mentioned to me, hey, there's this school called Egg Story. You want to come and try? And it's like, oh, okay, what's this school about? I said, oh yeah, they teach concept art animation. Like, okay, I'm in there. So the day before the interview, I told them, sorry, I'm not coming for the interview already. Then like I just went to Egg Story. Then I managed to enter, which was it was crazy First day I went there, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do the test now. I just sat down and did the test and like, okay, you're in. Whoa, okay. And then I was like, oh, that changed a lot And then I think you also mentioned earlier when we were talking about is there like a level where you feel you need to be when you go into any institution, whether you go into job or school, then you feel like you're not good enough, kind of that like imposter syndrome, what do you call it? So like I feel it's a rinse and repeat thing. Like everywhere you go, every school, every job, right? You always feel like you're not good enough, I don't know, the first day especially, you see all these people who have been there for a while already. They've been like, they're so into it, and then they're so good, right? And then you go and you feel like, I'm not good enough, right? But I think that's it gives you a target, lah. For me, like at least for me, I love to be the underdog. It's always like I love to like not be the best in the room, because like there's always somebody to catch, which is the fun part. It's all about chasing something. When you're at the top, right, it gets stale sometimes. So to me, like, I love chasing something, chasing a dream. So like I went to Egg Story, and then there were people from like NAFA and LaSalle. They had like years of already like art education, right? They did figure drawing, and I couldn't draw for nuts. I couldn't do all that stuff. So it was quite intimidating at first, lah. But at the same time, I made a lot of friends, and then I think until now, right, to this day, most of my Singapore art friends are from Egg Story. So,
oh wow!
Which is, the whole bunch. So it's amazing friendships. Like Kevin Chua is one of them.
Ah.
So, animator. Yeah. So I think, and it's good lah. All these friends and everything keeps you inspired. So after I finished Egg Story, I went to CDA, so in Pasadena. So that was the leap lah. Most people, like after you graduate, then you spend all this money already. You need to on education, right? Because it's like poly, then uni, then you need to work, right? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, should I like get a job or try and do something? And then, but then there was this school I heard of from a friend. Called Concept Design Academy, and then Dominic was the first Singaporean to go there, so he was the one that led the way. Yeah, so I took a leap, so I was like, okay, I'm going to spend everything, I'm going to go there, and I'm just going to try my best and see what comes out from it. And then it was a good leap, lah. Basically, it was a good investment to go to CGA, because like the experience there is very eye opening, because like you, like from Singapore, right? The art scene is so small, and then you see all these tutorials online about like James Pig or Feng Zhu, and they're all like over there, creating John Park, creating crazy art, and you only know them through tutorials because you see their YouTube videos and you see online, you hear their voice. That's about it. Then when you go there and then you sit in their class, right? Whoa, it's a totally different experience already, because you're actually talking to them, and then like the cool thing is about the interaction with the teacher that you have, lah. The physical and the personal like meeting them and stuff like that. So that was the big thing, and then you could talk to them as people, not as just like voices on your screen. It's like we talked about like online class versus in class experience, which is very different. So like I think I took online classes before and stuff like CGMA, which is Computer Graphics Master Academy. Took a matte painting class. So after I finished the course, I didn't really make any friends. I know there were like other students and like the stuff was good also, but I didn't really talk to anybody because it's just lecture. Then you feedback the review and all that stuff. But in class, you're like, as you said, sitting beside another guy, and the guy sitting beside you could be like from DreamWorks, he could be from a game studio, Riot or something. And he's just taking a class, because they're all like they're trying to learn more. So it's cool, like there's like, oh, where you're from? Everybody introduces themselves, like, oh, I'm from Riot. That's like, oh, everybody's like from crazy studios and stuff like that, and like, okay, but then again, you see, is that rinse and repeat again. Everybody's always more badass than you, and then like, wow, there will always be you always be put into that situation, lah. So then the community there was very different also. Like everybody was just always talking about art, and it's you won't be like considered nerdy for like, oh yeah, this game, and then oh yeah, this art, right? Oh, this concept artist, this artwork was done by who? Wow, so cool, everybody's gonna like, oh yeah, that's cool, yeah, I know that guy, and then you feel so excited, so bouncing off this passion makes you more passionate, I feel. So in a group, in a room full of artists, right, you just feel like it's filled with fire, like rage,
Yeah, because you're meeting up with like-minded individuals, like finding your own tribe, right? And it helps to just grow that passion and excitement for the craft.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the fun thing about it. And then not only like not only during the work time, but during the chill time. Because I know there was this bar outside CDA called Congregation. It's just across the road from CDA. And then after class, everybody would just go there and just like chill, grab a pint or something, like drink some beer, and after go back. So I think if we had something like that in Singapore, that'd be cool. Like a bar for concept artists or creatives, that kind of thing, where like it's like in the center of like, Orchard or something, some cool place. Like, Scape, right? All the dancers go there and practice, share their tips and stuff. Like imagine that there's a bar for us concept artists, and then on the TV you just see like, I don't know, Face Off from like, Sci-Fi Face Off, the scouting show and stuff like that. You show like, they people just chilling talking about art. So cool, place to network, place to, something for concept artists in Singapore.
Yes, for those people who, if any of you guys are working in skate, please do consider opening up a cafe for concept designers or people in the entertainment industry. We need a place for all of us to come together and hang out.
Exactly. You're putting your art on the wall and stuff like, oh yeah, then every day you can switch the gallery up, yes, that'd be cool. Make cool drinks based on like, I don't know, names from games.
Oh yeah. I mean, like in Japan, in Akihabara, they have this Gundam cafe or whatnot, right? I haven't been there.
Oh yeah.
I would love to go there, or even Ghibli, they do recreate the food that they draw out, right? From the animation.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like, it's like, imagine your concept for a cuisine, is ready to get up.
Concept cuisine, yeah, man, like cross disciplines, concept art and food. That's cool, man. So but CDA was fun, and the first time you go there, right, especially like as you were talking about, it's like a candy store. You said like there's modules for everything. Like you can learn like I want to learn animation, I want to learn storyboarding, I want to learn 3D designing. It's all there, environment art. So you just like first time you go there, you want to learn everything. So for me, the first time there was like I put all the eggs in the basket basically, and then after that, the basket got so heavy that the basket I dropped the basket So the thing is that I took on a lot of courses, a lot of modules and stuff like that. So I couldn't keep up with the work also. But that was, I mean, the whole experience the dive because I was so running on adrenaline, right?
Yeah.
So I after I did that, I came back from CDA, and then I worked at Real Sandbox. So it's an animation studio, and I worked on a feature film that time and an animation series called Paddle Pop. The ice cream.
Paddle Pop. Yeah.
So there's a animated series. So we worked on that for a bit. And then after like 2 years plus, and then I was like, I gotta go to CDA again. It's like once you've been to Rome, you flip the coin, you want to go back to Rome, right? You have to come back to Rome, right? So I went to CDA, I had to go back again. So after that, I went back there, and then the second time was like I would say like I was a bit wiser, more experienced, and then I went back with people that really wanted to build the community also. So it was cool because we had like this National Day thing.
Mm-hmm.
So on National Day, we like contacted like, hey, any Singaporean artists here in Pasadena or nearby, come over, we're having a party. And then my friend Sophia, she cooked laksa and stuff, and we hung out Singapore flag.
Oh, that's nice.
That's where I met a lot of like Singaporeans over there. And then we like bonded, and then that's networking, basically sharing, building a community. And then now all the people that I met there, I'm still in contact with, we still chat, we still talk. There's a friend, shout out to Nicholas, and his name is Nicholas Fung also, so he's same surname as you. So he's over there, he's in art center, he was in art center that time. I used to like, because I couldn't drive, so, and then water in Pasadena, you have to go and buy from the supermarket, right? They sell in like the tumblers. So every time I like call him in the middle, like, hey Nicholas, I got no water. He's like, okay. Then he'll drive to my house. Like, okay, you give me 5 minutes. Drive, then go bring me my water, top up the water. There's like these vending machines outside I can't remember the supermarkets. And it's like, okay, I'm going back already. So I mean it's fun, and then so it's cool. The bonding session. So when we built this community, everything, it was more cozy you felt that you had people over there. And then I met Hawk, who was at DreamWorks at the time, so he managed to bring me to DreamWorks and tour the studio. And then that's another thing, going behind the scenes in a production studio, and then it's so inspiring. You just walk through the halls, you see like, there's tables with booths with people's names, art on the wall, directors cubicles and stuff like that. So I think that really inspired me a lot also. So like not only just studying, like the leap was to go there and learn stuff, but at the same time I got a lot more from that, from just education, like just feeding off the culture, meeting the people, going to the studios. I combine all those experiences to like get me where I am today, not only just the education. Education is good, you definitely need to learn, but everything joins together. So
it's the whole experience of just going somewhere else, meeting, networking with artists, soaking in the atmosphere, and just being there and just being alive.
Yeah, exactly. And then Yeah, it's nice because you see like all those Disney people like to paint environment paintings, right? The color keys, right? And then you see the color keys, oh, the sky's so nice, so pink, so purple, the skies are beautiful, right? And then you sit down in the middle of the streets of Pasadena and you look at the sky, oh my gosh, that's exactly like the paintings. And then now you know why in Singapore people don't paint pink color, purple color sky. People paint different skies because the reference is just there,
Yeah, it's just plain air, right? You just go in and you can see such a beautiful landscape.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have the luxury of having nature just
of the
behind
buildings.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing interesting about it. Yeah, and then Sydney was like, there's no other experience like it lah. Basically, like the people, not only just Singaporeans, but the people, the hosts like Kevin and Estelle, the people who run the school, they were also very nice. They had Thanksgiving dinner. So if you went the fall and there was Thanksgiving, they organized Thanksgiving dinners for like all the overseas students. And then we got together, we ate dinner, like, because we didn't have family there, right? So we got together, and then there was more time to bond and make friends and stuff like that. And then a lot of jobs come from there also, because like some people like either me, or was like I need an artist, or I'm working, like when I was working on the film, I needed some help, right? So I was like message somebody I met from CDA. I was like, hey, you free? It's like, oh, sure. Then then he got a job, and then managed to pull him into the job. So like that's how jobs come about, So making friends and staying connected.
Totally. Because the friends are the ones that actually provide you the opportunities, and when they get gigs, maybe they could be art directors next time, right? And then they can offer you the gigs.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the first thing, right, when I went there, when I talked to the director, I think it was a pre-production. How he asked was like, hey, any guys, any friends that can do this? That's what the director asked me and the production designer. So when he asked that, it's like me to recommend my friends already, what, So and I think that's what happens in a lot of the situations in studios. I don't know, but yeah, hey, do you know a guy that can do this? Or we need someone who can do this. Oh, sure, I know a guy. Then basically, if you know this guy, then he might recommend you. Of course, it's good to be nice. Don't be a douche lah. Then nobody will recommend you lah.
Yes, of course. It's important. It's very important to be nice.
I think other than that, also conventions are good lah for jobs lah, because it gives you a lot of exposure. Like STGCCA, I mentioned to Dominic also, like at the start, the artist alley was just one L shape. It was like super tiny artist alley, and then now it's so big already, right? With XM Studio, so just opening a booth there already like exposes you to a lot of people, and then I got quite a few jobs from there. So that was a cool like experience, and a good experience at the same time. Is also networking, because like there are people who permanently their full-time job is convention, so they go conventions here and there. So if you're already a freelance, designer, and then it doesn't hurt to do a few booths once in a while. It's also a good drive to do your personal work, because you put a clock, because personal work, right, it tends to get the back seat, especially when you're in a studio or when there's a lot of freelance work, right? And not all the work you do for clients can be shown. So there's a huge bunch of stuff now that are still under NDA that I cannot show. So basically, if I don't do personal work, nobody will see any of my own work. And then some of the stuff I've done, right, is like from 7-8 years ago. And then if I want to show it now, it's like, I don't know whether I want to show this. But yeah, so like it's conventions are a good place to get jobs, that kind of thing. I think I met the toy guy also at the convention where I work for. I did a few pieces for Capcom, right? And then let me talk about that a bit also.
Oh yeah, sure, please.
I did Mega Man basically for Monica Toys. There's a company lah. So they have a license for Mega Man 2, I think, the Metal Man. So the villains are basically, because everybody's doing the main character, right? So the boss was like, hey, let's do the villains, that kind of thing. So he approached me, and then he was saying like, why not we do Metal Man? So I think I'll share screen again.
Yeah, sure, please. The share screen, then I'll transition to show artwork on a bigger layout.
Okay.
Go.
So this was one of them. Yeah. So can you see?
Yeah, it's all good. You can see.
So this was the earlier version of Metal Man. Because I wanted a more realistic one, and then after that, this is the pose. So it's like a more realistic version. But
it reminds me of Mortal Kombat for some reason.
A bit like Scorpion, is it? Because of the eyes.
I think
Because it's like,
so.
get over here. Yeah, I think it's the
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah. It just feels like, it feels a little bit of Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Mortal Kombat meets Iron Man or something.
Something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah, so but Capcom wanted it to be more closer to the IP, so they said like stick to the original design. So
Mm-hmm.
we went with like the metal, the original IP of the toy. So this was the sculpt images that are approved to show lah,
Try to
basically.
show our friends on IG the stuff.
Yeah, so this the Metal Man toy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Okay, and then yeah, so this basically the launch of this toy is supposedly supposed to come out the second half of this year due to the situation, but yeah, it's almost done already. And then there's a few others in the list also. So there's I think two other villains coming out. So stay tuned to Monica Toys. You can find them on Facebook basically.
Oh wow,
So
that's so exciting!
yeah, so you can check them out on Facebook and Monica Toys. I think you have like the early stuff to
Got an
quickly show
early
you. Right?
preview, right? Are you showing more stuff?
Uh, yeah, show you a bit more. Yeah, so basically this is their company. So you can see this is the first bill basically that came out from the printing.
Oh wow.
So that's yeah. So that's cool. And then oops. Yeah, so that's that. And then yeah. Okay. Okay, I figured out where's the stop share already. It's on top of my screen.
Okay, no worries. Oh good.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thanks for sharing that. Is it a US company? Is Monica a US based toy manufacturing company?
No, I think it's Hong Kong.
Oh, it's Hong Kong. Okay.
Or China. Based in
How,
China.
how
They
did
build
they
their stuff
find
in
you?
China. Art station. I think I post because I have a lot of stuff on my art station. It's just like I started out with more 3D stuff. So the funny thing is like they say don't put the stuff you don't want to be hired for on your portfolio, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the start, right, I did more 3D. I wanted to be a concept artist. I wanted to do more concept art. So, but then I studied like ZBrush more. So I posted a lot of 3D stuff. And then the jobs I got were all 3D. And then the 3D jobs just kept rolling. And I was like, am I doing the right thing? Should I keep posting 3D stuff up? Like, I don't want to be a 3D modeler at the end of the day. But you got to pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
So like, yeah. So I did a lot of 3D stuff at the start. And then after that, when I went to work, I got the time to do more 2D, and then I started putting more 2D stuff. But still, most of my jobs that come in are like, hey, sculpt toy or 3D. It's more 3D jobs. I think, especially if like local jobs, right? Not so much concept art illustration jobs here in Singapore.
Yeah.
More like 3D stuff, for like advertising or anything like that. So that's a thing. And then yeah, so conventions also. Yeah, I think the fun thing about conventions is meeting your friends also. Cause you like, let's say I know Kelvin Chua. He always like he's at a lot of conventions sometimes.
Yes, Kelvin. Yeah.
And so you just walk around STGC, like, hey, you're here, how are you? And then that's the you get excited again about meeting old friends and talking about art. So yeah, conventions are a good place to catch up and like see what's going on in the industry, because there's a lot of people like fan art, there's anime art, there's toys, there's books, comics, and I think a lot of up and coming artists, I guess they start there also. They do conventions, local conventions, and then he's like, hey, this guy's pretty good, Then you also can go around looking for like talent. Maybe you might need his help next time, stuff like that. I don't know, but yeah, there's this interesting story about STGCC, right? I did it 3 times. The one of the times, right? It like clashed with my wedding.
So, really? It clashed with your wedding? Wow.
Yeah. So like because you register for your book like in November, right? The year before, November, December, like end of the year year before. Then after that, so I registered. I was like, okay, it's gonna be good and everything. And then next year we plan the wedding, and then I was like, oh yeah, this date, it's like I won't clash lah. I was telling my wife should be okay lah. I can do everything by then, right? Then after came the day, right? It was on the same weekend. Then I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I was like, okay. Then I was sharing a book with my friend, so I told him like, okay, like you go ahead lah. So the book got both our names, but then only he was there. So I went for a wedding on like Saturday. Then the next day I went there and I just sat there. I was like, oh, then they asked like, hey, you don't have any stuff? Oh, I got married yesterday, sorry, I didn't do any stuff. And then people are just like, oh, congrats. So away. So then that was the one. So I'm thinking interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, then every year anniversary, right? My wife will say, "Hey, STGCC again." But now they changed lah. They changed the end of the year, so okay lah, it's better. Now it's
Yeah.
December.
It gives you time to celebrate your wife's you and your
Yeah,
wife's wedding anniversary. Yeah.
yeah.
Good,
So
good, good.
that was fun.
Hey, I
Yeah,
realized
yeah.
one thing that's quite incredible about your story. I think you mentioned you have this beginner's mindset to things, right? I think in Japanese it's
Yes.
called shoshin, which is kind of like a beginner's mindset. Like, how did that come across for you when you were studying in you started out in polytechnic, right? Studying something totally different
Yeah.
and going
I
into
think
concept art. Yeah.
for me, right, it's like I like things that I don't know how to do, or I like the challenge of learning new things, lah, basically. So it's like because you see, the learning curve is also like at the start you learn a lot, right? You learn very fast, right? Because it's easier
Mm,
to pick up stuff. Then becoming a master of things is harder. So I think that's my crutch or like my weak point also, because I like to learn a lot of things and I love being a beginner at things because that's the most fun part about learning, about doing that, because you learn a lot of things, everything's so exciting. Then after
mm,
like doing it for like I don't know many years already, it becomes a bit stale, and then that one you need a lot more discipline and drive. And then I would say my discipline level is not very high lah. So but the
mm,
thing is that, yeah, so some people learn special, some people specialize, some people just learn a lot of things, right? So I guess that's where it stems from. I like giving myself a lot of problems, because
mm,
after doing something for like continuous amount of times, right, it becomes less problematic, it becomes very smooth already, right? Then when the sea is not choppy and not unpredictable, right, then I get bored. So I feel like that's why I love this beginners, like everything is new lah, beginners mindset,
mm,
where I
mm.
always want to be the underdog, and then it's cool also when people think you know how to do it, then you do it like wow, the reaction is also nice. But yeah, so I guess I tried a bit on that, but
Mm,
yeah, and it's I think just one of the lecturers said in CDA, right? He said, um, firstly, just by being here, you already won, because it's like taking your step. Like it's like the doors are all open for you. It's just whether you step through the door only. And then the
mm,
next thing he said was like, you and me are exactly the same. It's just that I have more hours in front of you. That's all. So I've been drawing for maybe 300 hours. You've been drawing for 2. After you draw for 300 hours, you'll be like me already. So it's
mm,
all about just putting the time lah. So that also like motivated me a lot to want to become better. But yeah, but
mm,
I think it's the joy of finding new things that makes
mm.
me like keep this beginner mindset. It could be in like games lah. When you play a game and you try to play against other people and try to outsmart them. It's just the challenge of winning, that kind of thing.
The whole
So
the
when you
whole
fail,
challenge of just growing and just trying to
yeah.
learn
So
something and become better at something, right?
yeah, when I face a new software, like I just picked up Blender a few like serious, like I started using Blender a long time ago. Like in poly, right, Blender was already free. So
Mm-hmm.
they gave 3D Studio Max, and then I used Blender and made the typical chess set. Everybody makes the chess, the pawn,
Yes,
you
yes,
use your
yes.
your shape and then your limb. So I did that one in Blender. And Blender was so old school. Everything was like, it was like Windows 3.1. All the tabs were like all over the place. And then now Blender has like changed, come so far, right? So like I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I gotta get into Blender, and then everybody's using Blender. So like I just like I installed Blender. It's like I'm gonna beat you, and then I think in every software or every kind of workflow, that's how I go about it lah. Like I just face it head on as like I'm gonna win you, and then I just fight lah. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, wow. So
So
it's
yeah,
really just like, yeah, you see something, you challenge it, you take it on head on.
then just over. But there's also a bad point to that. It's like when you win already, right? Then do you continue, or like sometimes you lose that interest? So then after that, it becomes about uh using it as a tool already. It means I'm not gonna become a master of this really. I'm gonna try and create stuff, because I think at the base of it, right, there's people who like how to say it's to me it's about creation. It's about creating things. It could be creating a piece of work. It could be creating a sculpture. It could be creating a workflow. Like I was talking to you about Procreate. So
Yeah.
Procreate was new also that time, and everybody was doing very illustrative work. And I wanted to do like photo bashing, because I went to search on and nobody did any photo bashing, like real photo bashing, matte painting style stuff on Procreate. So it's like I'm
Mm,
gonna overcome this, and I
mm.
tried and I tried and I lost last. So I mean, I managed to do a few pieces. When you come out a few pieces, but the workflow was just too hard. So I think the workflow is the thing that I challenge myself a lot. So I try this workflow like, okay, Blender to Photoshop, okay, ZBrush to Photoshop, how does it work? Or like Procreate, whether I can bring in a 3D brace into Procreate and then paint over with photo textures. So like it's like coming up with new workflows to make the things, keep things fresh lah. And I'm always at the beginner because the new workflows are totally unknown. Nobody has tried this before. That kind of thing. Or I haven't seen anybody really doing it. So that's how I keep myself driven also lah for situations.
Right. So it's like finding new ways to improve your art making process, right? So that you can create better art.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what drives you to continuously improve yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's one thing that really drives me. Like I would say that I tried almost all the softwares out there. There's like all the 3D effects, like 3D Max, Maya, Cinema 4D, Marvelous Designer, Keyshot, Zebra, everything I tried before.
Wow.
I would say I know how to use them, but I would say I'm very good at it. But I guess different roles in a studio also require different skill sets. Like if you're an illustrator, you're going to be very good at painting. If you're managing a project, you kind of have to know everything. You have to know the pipeline, the workflow. So every post has its different specialties. So I don't know, maybe my set of skills fit in another. I'm not like fully illustrator by trade. I can draw, I can paint, but like that wouldn't be my strong suit. I can do it, but maybe having all this knowledge about different softwares and packages would help me, do another job. That kind of thing. Yeah. So that's cool.
So that's your strategy to be adaptable, right? To be as adaptable as you can, so that you can, any task that's thrown to you, you can just deal with it on the fly.
Yeah, I guess that's I don't know, as a nomadic artist, right? That's what you have to do, lah. Everywhere you go, you just have to be able to survive, lah. You go here, you need to be able to do what they need you to do. So that's survival. But you always have to have something that you like a lot, your own passion, lah. If you're like always just trying to survive based on like whatever people do, right? I feel like for me, at the end of the day, there's something missing, lah. Because you definitely want to do something you love, but at the end of the day.
Yeah, so in that sense, it's kind of like you're finding your niche, your position in the marketplace, so that everyone will know, hey, Callen specializes or does this, But
exactly.
Beyond that, he can also do X, Y, Z. He can do A very well, but he can do X, Y, Z as well, right? So he's like
marketable,
very marketable. But at the same time, people know you that I mean, in the case of your art station, at least right now, people know you for your 3D sculptures, lah, right? And that's expertise that you have built up over time. But now you have built up even more pillars of expertise as well. Concept art and whatnot.
Exactly. Okay.
So maybe you could just share with everyone here. What's the hardest thing that you had to learn over the years?
I think as a freelance artist, it is the obstacle all freelance artists have to overcome. Working for yourself, right? Is managing your time, the business side of it, and the art side of it. It's like I think everybody talks about this thing, and then for me, I feel I get very emotional. So sometimes at the start when I was dealing with clients, I was like, okay lah, if I'm good friends with you, then can free discount, or when I'm very invested in a project, right? It's so cool, right? Then you work over the hours. Like I will spend like many hours when I should be only spending a day or two on this piece. But because you love the project, you tend to go overboard. So it's not helpful to anybody because firstly you get tired. Yeah, the guy gets a piece lah, but then the next piece might be not as good because you already spent all your energy on this piece. And then when family comes into play also, you need to spend time with your family and all that stuff, and then you're just eating into that time, and then you're not sleeping well. So I feel like it's easy to get drawn into that lah. So I think the most difficult part was to become more like treat the job as like you're in a studio. When you're a freelance artist, you still need to treat it like a 9-to-5 job. Like you need to go to work and you need to stop work. When you go all the way, right, then it's a rabbit hole. You just go down and you won't stop one because you're so used to it already. That kind of thing. You're so used to like spending long hours overdoing, spending more time than you should on a piece. And then you don't even see the difference until either there's an intervention or like my wife comes in, hey, what time already? Then you be like,
the wife flips the table.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, oh, okay. With me.
Exactly. So I'm very lucky to have a wife, right, that like helps me a lot with my art. Like until now, I would say that I'm still not very good at like being like active on social media. I always have this thing when I want to post things, right? I don't know whether other people face it, but like I will always think like, oh, is this piece good enough? I don't know whether or am I too poser, writing too much stuff below, asking people to subscribe, am I doing too much? I'm feeling too try hard already, right? But sometimes business is business, or you have to understand that these are the tactics used to promote your art, right? As an artist, the artist side of it just cannot accept, because I feel like I'm like how to say, I'm a sellout. I'm trying to like promote myself too much, and then it's not, you cannot accept it. But then what I learned is like you leave it to the people who can do it. It's either you get someone to help you, or like for me, I'm lucky to have my wife. So like I will do the artwork, right, and then I'll say, okay, go post. And then so she will do all the, write all the stuff, and then I won't feel like, because sometimes I feel like anxiety when I post, and then like I write too much stuff, and like I will write everything, and it's like, oh, maybe I don't post lah, all the piece is not good enough. But then the wife is always there like, done already lah, just post lah.
Yeah. The wife is the one that kicks the butt. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like my producer, like it's like in a studio. which I feel like it's a team. It's not that you cannot do it on your own. It takes time to train also. But once you start doing it, right, then you get more used to doing it. But like it always helps to have someone to help you. Yeah, maybe I'll share some stuff also from my art station and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so let me share this.
You are more than welcome to. It is what it is.
Okay. Yeah, so this like the recent pieces I've been working on. I go through like a brief from the start now. So there's like a lot of 3D stuff at the start. This was for the movie, a feature film for Control that I worked on in 2013. There's a trailer online. Like Daniel Wu was in this show. It's quite cool.
Oh wow!
And then like yeah, so like this the Zodiac characters that I've been doing for years. And then like I really like the creature kind of aspect of things. Like I guess because my mom, I grew up on monster movies lah, basically like Legend lah, Willow, like really old school fantasy. Like Legend when Tom Cruise was like really young, a young Tom Cruise, with the Tim Curry as the devil guy, and then Alien, It and stuff like that. So like creatures were the thing that I really went for.
Right.
And after that, I went more and dive into other things lah. So this was the piece I did on Procreate. It's just pure Procreate photo bash. So I just took photo. It's like 8-9 second video. Can see the video, right?
Yeah, I can see the video.
So basically it's just photo bashing, quick photo bash stuff. So it's all Procreate lah, which was tough lah, because they didn't have what do you call that? Didn't have adjustment layers and stuff like that. So the workflow was a bit different, to do photo bash stuff on Procreate. And then there's sculpt. So recently I played around with like the ZBrush sculpts, and then the clay shaders from Jama. So I always try. I think as you mentioned also about tutorials, tutorials are like $15, $10, all over the net. If you want to pick up something, you feel like your things are a bit stale, right? Just grab a $10 tutorial, something that you haven't learned before, and just watch the video and learn something. And then it might add to your workflow in future. You never know. So yeah. So this is like sculpted in ZBrush and rendered in Blender.
Nice.
And then this is like the recent piece I did. So there's like my YouTube channel has all my stuff lah. So this is one of the processes. So I do like quick one. So it's just me painting over in Photoshop and all that stuff, photo bashing. So it's just a quick video about the thing, and then you can check out my YouTube channel here, basically.
Yeah.
It's at Callen Desmond. Yeah, so these are the few videos I've been doing. See, the starting is just like so, right? Oh, look at this. Oh yeah, this was the bull. Remember I did the Zodiac bull, right?
Yes.
So I actually wanted to do a 3D sculpture of it. So this was the original 3D print I did. Yeah, back in like 2013. And then so I have it here lah. Later I'll show on the screen lah.
Sure.
And then so there's a few other videos like grease pencil and then Photoshop, and this was like 9 years ago where I was playing around with VFX, and then I was like doing some like night crawling. I have no idea what I was doing back then, but it's just it's just that. And then so recently I've been doing this fishball series. I don't know why. It's like you see this fishball here. Basically, you know, you see those fish, they swim in shoals of fish. It's like a defense mechanism. So it's like a ball of fish, right? So I was like, I didn't know, I was just playing around with Blender. So I like, you know, the typical sphere, you like, oh, it's nice to paint over. So I just made it a fish ball. And then the series just continued on. So I went and I did like, there was this briefing, oh, we need to catch the fish ball, you know. So I did a painting of people like in a lobby, objective fish ball. And then after that, the next one, oh, the fish balls are coming to land. So like the fish balls are all rising from the ocean. All the fish balls are here. So it's just a whole bunch of nonsense that I've been painting recently. So all these have like your processes like how I did from the start, like in Blender all the way. So yeah. So you can check out my art station also here.
Cool.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, there's and I'm also like selling stuff on Carousel and Arts and Etsy. You can just check that out also. I mean like support.
Yeah, do give support to our friend here, yeah, Callen. Those of you guys who, you know, are inspired by
so like this art. Is the toy. So I went to paint it.
Very cool. You know,
it's like
that's the beginning, right? That's a these are 3D printed by yourself, or do you find
there's a 3D print. So I did a 3D print. I approached a guy to help me do the 3D print. Then I did the resin. So I created the mold. I did everything DIY. So I created a box. I put in the thing. I did the keys. Then I poured the mold in. Then hardened. Then I took out the resin. Then I took out the molding thing. Then I poured in the resin and then hardened and then I painted over. So it's all DIY in my room. But it was fun to make.
Cool.
So I gotta do this.
Very, very cool. Right. So before we end off today's show, do you have one pro tip that you could share with all of our viewers here tonight?
Pro tip. I guess always stay hungry. I don't know.
Stay hungry.
Stay hungry, you know, like yeah. And I think one thing is like you're never too old. Like, you know, there are many examples of people who feel like they're too old to get in the industry, and then you're just never too old. There's always a chance for you to get in. One good example is Simon Lee, Spider Zero. He's a sculptor. He was a web designer all the way until his late 30s, 40s, and then he started sculpting. And then he just sculpted and he worked on like a Godzilla and all that crazy stuff. So he's a concept sculptor. So yeah, it started really late, you know. So yeah.
Wow. That's a very inspiring. Yeah, exactly.
Take the leap.
Indeed. Yeah, I think that will be the title of this YouTube adaptation when I put this up on YouTube. Taking the leap beyond the lockdown.